Hello, I'm Wes Allen. Welcome back to the Perkins Center for Preaching Excellence series, dealing with the ways pastors can embrace anti-racist stances and strategies in the pulpit. We're asking a diverse range of scholars, preachers, and artists to offer preachers advice about how to address racism in today's climate. Today, we have with us Will Mebane, who is the rector of St. Barnabas' Episcopal Church in Falmouth, Massachusetts. In late August, he was featured in the Leaders of Change project, sponsored by USA Today, for his lifelong work for racial equality and equity. So, Reverend, welcome. What is one key insight from your work that you think would be helpful to preachers these days?
Preachers have to stop being afraid. And I would dare say almost every preacher, if not every preacher, knows that racism is a sin. They know the damage that it has done, that it continues to do, and will do if not addressed. But too many preachers are afraid to speak to it truthfully. What are they afraid of? They're afraid that if they preach about racism, people won't like them, won't like hearing what they say, and so won't like them, and so they won't get their invitations to the country club or the golf course or whatever. They're afraid that people might stop coming, might move to another church. They're afraid that people will stop giving their money and choke off the source of funds. But I believe, money should not be used as a weapon against the church, which is the body of Christ. So the advice that I would have is for preachers to speak the truth without being afraid. Yes, hopefully you're adjudicatory, whatever that might be. In my tradition, it's a bishop is going to have you back. And I'm grateful that mine do here. Your board, your vestry, your council, whatever it is with which you work, hopefully they're going to be supportive. I'm, again, fortunate here that I have that. And I'm preaching, Wes, I'm preaching in the context of an all-white congregation. 99 plus point whatever percent of my congregation, or it's not my congregation, the congregation, is white. And so here's this Black guy standing up, talking about racism. And I've been saying some things that are really hard for people to hear. But most people have received it well. Some have not, and have, challenged me and complained about me and what have you. But we got to stop. We got to stop being afraid. We know what the gospel commands us to do and what the gospel commands us to say. And so we've got to be willing to speak like not the prophets who were part of the king's court, but those outliers who were willing to speak truth to power. And if we can get people to preach truthfully about racism, about the fact that most of our beautiful churches were built either on the backs of slaves or with money derived from slave owners and slave traders and the like. If we could start preaching about that honestly, maybe we can move the needle a little bit. And I understand it's hard. It's very difficult for people to do it, but you got to have the courage. Got to have the courage to be able to speak the truth to folks.
Well, that's a great word. I mean, I do hear and see in myself, but hear pastors talking about they're afraid of how the congregation would respond and all. So let's say you do inspire me, and somehow I get past my fear and I decide to speak truth to power, because white congregations especially represent the white power of our culture right now. And you want to move the needle. You're not wanting to just, yell at them or scold them or something. How do you not just, after you've gotten the courage, how do you speak in a way that they can hear it and hopefully respond positively?
Well, it goes all the way back for me to relationship, right? So I believe God created us to be in relationship with God. God created us because we're in God's image to be in relationship with one another. So we have to be willing to engage in relationship with individuals. I'm not asking people to agree with everything I say or even how I say it. What I'm hoping to do is to spark curiosity, maybe even anger that they're willing to express, to challenge me, and then we can engage in some conversation. So you take what happens in the pulpit, you bring it to the office, or you bring it to a small group. And then the next thing you know, you got a group of people who want to study, as we just did here, Martin Luther King's letter from the Birmingham jail. And we had over 70 people sign up for this study,
Wow.
right? Now we got people talking about wanting to read White Fragility, or how to be an anti-racist. And so those conversations have sparked a curiosity, not in everyone, but in folks who are genuinely interested in acknowledging their racism, acknowledging the racism that exists in our system, to do the work. And it is work. It's not a magic wand. No one's going to wave a magic wand and make it go away, and everything's going to be the way we want it to be. No, it's going to take work.
Well, it's certainly been taking work, and it's going to take more. And you've been a part of that work, and I just want to thank you for it, for your life committed to this. And I want to thank everyone for tuning in, and I hope you'll tune in again as we bring you more people talking about dealing with anti-racism in the pulpit. Good day.